So you want to build a boat, eh? Stick around to the end of this series of videos. We'll show you how we solved all the tasks that we had to get done before we could even begin building the boat.
Before we could even consider laying the keel, there was a lot of planning and a number of key decisions that needed to be made, and lots of work to do. We knew what boat we wanted to build, and we also knew we were going to modify the design. Firstly, where would we build it? Second, what kind of structure did we need? And lastly, how would we build this structure?
Due to the high cost of renting boatyard space, we decided to build right in our own backyard. Our yard was not level, and that would need to be fixed. The next challenge we faced was needing a large flat surface to work on in which to make all of the parts for our structure. You'll see how important this is in the next section.
A year after the yard was leveled, Rick's brother laid down a paved brick driveway, which, as it turns out, was not only nice to look at, but was essential to building the structure. You'll see all about that in the next chapter.
With those two big projects behind us, we had to wait out a long, cold winter before we could start to build the shelter. Much of that winter was spent searching eBay and other websites for various parts, pieces, and materials that we knew we would need. The main source for a lot of the parts that we were able to find at decent cost was eBay.
How we came about getting the boat kit itself was a true stroke of luck. Rick has participated on the Bateau.com builders forums for years as he researched and planned the boat build. He had made an acquaintance of a gentleman near Boston who had purchased the plans, the CNC cut kit, and a number of other items. He had decided not to build his boat and offered it all to Rick. Short negotiations ensued, and practically the next day we found ourselves on the way to Boston to pick up the kit.
After a long and frustrating search, I finally located a suitable engine on eBay. Located in Rhode Island, it's a Yanmar 4JHTE, which is 55 horsepower. This engine was circa 1989. The engine was at the upper limit of horsepower for our boat, but smaller diesel engines were hard to find. It seemed as soon as they were listed, they were sold immediately.
About this time, a lot of small boat builders and chandleries were liquidating their overstock on eBay, and we scored some very nice bargains. Multiple trips to the U.S. to acquire some of our eBay purchases were made. Parts piled up fast.
The following year, we found ourselves headed straight back to Rhode Island. On another eBay auction, we had won a gas range, a brand new Tasco 555 LP, which by chance came from the exact same eBay seller who we bought the engine from just the year before.
From Rhode Island, we headed to Delaware to pick up our fuel tanks and water tanks, both Moeller brands. Both sets of tanks were bought at Eastern Marine in Newark, Delaware.
While we were traveling to all these new spots around the eastern U.S., we decided to turn these into mini vacations. Well, with the exception of the boat kit, which you saw earlier, that was straight there and straight back.
On the first trip, we stopped at Battleship Cove in Falls River, Massachusetts, where Rick shopped for guns for the new boat, and I checked out a Cold War-era submarine. From there, it was on to Mystic Seaport in Mystic, Connecticut, a true U.S. national treasure.
Here's the backyard leveled off, so be sure to come back for the next chapter where we'll show you how we assemble our Stimson bow shed. If you enjoyed this slideshow, please give us a thumbs up, subscribe to our channel, and ring the bell so you don't miss an installment.
If you would like to become more involved in our project, access to bonus behind-the-scenes content, private chats, and much more, we would love to have your support on our Patreon campaign. Links are in the description.